Alright, so you guys read the title of this video. I'm not gonna beat around the bush, so I'm gonna get right into it. So for those of you who do not know, I am Dominican.
Wagwan,
My mom
mamagwang.
is Dominican. I live in America though, but most summers I do spend a lot of time in that country just to visit family and whatnot. And I do spend most of my time with my family, but for a couple of weeks out of that vacation, we go to a resort. So like a hotel type thing with like beaches and a pool and infinite food bars, which is probably the best part. I did a lot on these vacations. I would eat like a pregnant person, just eat whatever I could fit in my mouth. I would just sleep a lot. I wouldn't do a whole lot, honestly, because I'm not really that social. And most of the events were like social events where you had to go like and talk to people, and that wasn't me. But one big thing I did do was I would play volleyball. But it wasn't volleyball in the sense of like you're on a beach, you're like running around in the sand. It was like a net in the pool. So it was like pool volleyball. So I would just play that most of the time. So honestly, I would spend probably about like 98% of my time on vacation doing that. And when you were playing, you would meet a bunch of people from around the world because, it's a pretty popular vacation spot. You would meet kids from all over the place. I made friends with this one kid from Miami named Jordan. I met a bunch of German people. Just a whole assortment of people. So one of these days I was playing, and of course I spiked the ball out of bounds because, I'm a certified baller, and that's just what I do. And I go out to go and get the ball, and I'm going to try and like describe it kind of. It was like a pool, and around them, they were beach chairs just so like people can like watch their kids and make sure they don't drown. So I knocked the ball out, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go get it. So I get out and I go get it. I'm walking, I'm looking to see where the ball landed, and I see it rolled under a chair. Right next to this chair, there's some dudes there, and they're not with any girls. And these two dudes are just like the most ripped, most jacked dudes I've ever seen. It was a white dude and it was a black dude. The black dude looked like Ashton Hall kind of, but the white dude was like Arnold Schwarzenegger, bro. He's actually like the most built man I've ever seen in my life, bro. No homo. Like, I'm being for real. I think his forearms were the size of my head. And these dudes are just like going to town on each other, like just making out, just like they're getting in there with tongue, they're like grabbing at each other, they're like biting each other and shit. It looked more violent than anything. I thought they were fighting at first, but like, Anyway, so I had to walk up there. As I'm walking up there, they kind of like stop and like look at me, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine, keep on going, I'm not gonna be like a cuck. I'm not gonna watch this shit, So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the ball, just don't pretend I'm not here. So I say that, and immediately after I say that, they just go right back to business. They just start, just trying to eat each other, basically. And I get the ball, and I throw it back in the pool. Now, me personally, I don't really give a fuck about, like, if you're gay or not. I try and love everybody the same no matter what. If anything, I was kind of proud of this moment, to see how far we've come as a society that we can let two gay dudes make out in public, and they don't got to worry about getting, like, hate crimes or anything. But, like, before I get back in the pool, I'm looking around, and there's his family. And the dad is just sitting there. He's, like, looking at them with, like, hatred in his eyes. Like, they're sitting there, like, fuming. Like, they're angry that these two gay dudes are making out. And every time the kids get out the pool, he's, like, trying to, like, block them from, like, seeing that shit. Like, their kids are going to get any ideas. I'm like, bro, they're fucking, like, 5 and 6. They probably don't even know what kissing is yet, though. Well, I don't know about kids nowadays, but still, they probably don't even give a fuck about any of that. And I'm just like, damn, bro, like, there's still some homophobic people out here, like, in 2024 was when this happened. But, like, kind of going back to what I said, I was like, well, if people have such a problem with this, why aren't they getting hate crime? I'm not saying I want them to get hate crime, I'm just thinking, like, if you're still against gay people, back in the day, you would have gotten called a slur for this shit, like, you would have gotten, like, bottles thrown at you and shit. You would have gotten fucking, like, bloodhound sent on you. You would have got fucking, like, sprayed with like a fire hose or some shit. But then I'm kind of, like, looking at it through the POV of the father. Even if I was homophobic and I hated these dudes for being gay, what the fuck am I going to do against these guys? I can't put it into your head, but I want you to paint a picture. These dudes were like Greek god level built people, bro. I'm pretty sure if anybody tried to say anything to them, like they would have gotten their head blown off just from like a punch from one of those dudes, bro. Like they were jacked, man. And they're on vacation, so like, there's not a single healthy food out there, bro. So they're maintaining this physique, bro, without going to the gym or anything. This whole experience made me realize something that I've kept in my heart for a very long time. Getting strong isn't just about looking good. It's about the confidence that comes with it. Even if I had like a really hot girl with me or a hot dude, it's 2026, I wouldn't have the confidence to do anything to them just because I would be afraid of what people think about me. People like me spend so much of their lives scared of what strangers think, scared of getting judged, and scared of standing out. But these dudes, they've probably spent years pushing themselves in the gym, pushing themselves mentally, and you start realizing that other people's opinions don't carry the same weight. Those two guys weren't bothering anyone. They were just living their lives. And the guy glaring at them, all he had was an angry look. It was honestly kind of funny. All that outrage, and it didn't change a single thing. So here's a lesson I took away. Get strong. Build yourself up, not because every muscle solves every problem, and not because you're trying to scare people, but because confidence changes the way you carry yourself. I don't have confidence to speak to anybody, like a stranger really, but those two dudes were so strong that they had the confidence to make out publicly in front of everybody. And this isn't there weren't like cabanas on I just pool either. Like, no, bro, like everybody could see. Like they were in a spot where like everybody was facing them. I don't know if they did it on purpose. I don't know if they got a weird kink, but it don't matter. And at some point, you're going to realize if someone doesn't like you, that's their problem, not yours. I actually ended up playing like ping pong with one of the dudes a lot, actually. He was a pretty chill guy. He's like an accountant, actually, out of all things. I would have thought he was competing for like Mr. Olympian, but nah, he did accounting. He like lives in like Oregon, I'm pretty sure, or something. Cool dude. Nice guy.